Hit it, maestro. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you all for joining. We're coming to you live from our studio downtown. This is Talk Visual 305. I wanted to say good morning to you out there. Did you miss us? So, guys, we're downtown. We wanted to say thank you. And we have a special guest, but I'm going to let my right hand bring him in. Julio!
Really special guest today, guys. This gentleman's story embodies what this podcast is all about. It's about growth. It's about resilience. It's about leadership. This gentleman has rose through the ranks in media. He is the president of one of the most iconic racing venues, not only in Miami-Dade County, but the entire country. This guy's story is going to inspire all of the people that are listening to this today. Please help me give a warm welcome to the president of the Homestead-Miami Speedway, Mr. Guillermo Santacruz.
What a great intro. A lot to live up to.
That's it. Well, good morning, sir. We wanted to say good morning. We bring our guests on our podcast to give them their flowers. I know typically men don't typically want flowers, but we say, hey, in our space, we say, we thank you for the things you're doing. And we wanted to say welcome and say, hey, come on, let us give you your flowers and welcome you.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. It's great to be here.
Thank you. So tell us a little about yourself.
So let's see, where to start? Way in the beginning, I guess.
That's right.
I
In
always,
the early years, right?
I always say that I'm a proud Cuban Rican.
That's right.
I was born in Puerto Rico. My parents were Cuban.
Right.
I grew up in Miami. I went to public school, Southwest Miami Senior High School. I went to Miami-Dade College. I went to Florida State University. So all Florida, all local,
Florida,
all Miami, and had a pretty long career in media. I've been working in sports a very long time, over 30 years. From my beginning in broadcast, then through IMG, which is a big international sports agency, and now at NASCAR and Homestead-Miami Speedway. So it's been a long road, but very much about South Florida, very much about the community, and very happy in particular to be in Homestead and in South Dade and being a part of all the things that we're doing at the track.
Cool beans.
You know, Homestead, the track came to Homestead back in 1999, right? And over the years, for people that were not NASCAR fans, it was the first time that we got an opportunity to kind of understand, because you'd see it on TV and you'd just see cars, and it wasn't really something that was of interest, particularly to me. I'm more of a baseball, football, basketball guy. But then when I went to the track and experienced the roaring engines, the pit road, how they do the pit, the pit stops, and it's a science of what they're doing there, and that was very fascinating to me, and that is what drew me to become a fan of NASCAR. So, in your career, were you always a NASCAR fan? And I know that you started a lot, you've been behind the scenes in media doing big venues, which have a lot of moving parts.
Yes.
But somehow, that led you to be the man to run this great venue down here in Homestead.
Yes.
So, were you always a NASCAR fan?
No, not at all. I wasn't even much of a sports fan growing up, but more than I was a casual fan, and I followed baseball, football, and all that, but not to any great extent. I never really expected to work in sports. And to your point, NASCAR, you have to experience it to really, understand it. There's a lot of nuance to it. I always say that every sport looks dumb to somebody who doesn't understand it. It doesn't matter the sport. If you don't understand it,
Could be rugby.
Or rugby. I tell you, I've been to 2 rugby World Cups, and I still don't understand rugby. So, it's one of those things. So no, I didn't come as a fan. I had done some consulting work for NASCAR prior to joining, the company, but I came in pretty fresh. Kind of like left turn. What do we got here? And as I became, more involved in it, there's so much strategy, and that's what I love. That's what, to me, has turned me into a fan. It's so much strategy because it's like business, right? You have to, you set your own strategy for your business, but you also have to look to see what everybody else is doing.
That's right.
Here's the same thing. You got to mind your own car. You got to mind your own, when you're going to pit, when you're going to refuel, all those things. But you also have to be mindful of everybody else. Right. What are they doing? When are they going to start? Are they going to change 2 tires? Are they going to change 4 tires? The championship in Phoenix last November, it came down to a pit stop. And one driver chose to change 4 tires, and the other one chose to change 2 tires. And the guys who changed 2 tires won the race. So there's a lot to it. Now once you get into it, you go down that rabbit hole, and it's really interesting.
Shoosh. I fell in love with it with Jeff Burton when back in the day, AT&T or Singular at the time had a race car, and but mostly number 3.
All right, of course.
And the fun parts about the crashing.
That shows the power of the sponsorship of the
Right.
cars. So people that see their company going around and winning,
Yep.
that says a lot about why people are drawn to the sport.
Yeah.
You know that the fans who are most loyal to a brand associated with any sport are NASCAR fans. In other words, NASCAR fans are more loyal to NASCAR brands than any other sports fan.
Even
is.
soccer?
Any other. And the number one sports sponsorship, I'll give you, I'll quiz you on it. And this is year after year after year, as long as I can remember. The number one brand association in sports with a brand, would you care to guess which one?
Home
it is?
Depot.
No.
Wow.
What car? What car do you? What car did Dale
I'll help
Earnhardt
you.
drive?
I'll help you out 'cause we're going to be here all
Right,
day. Goodyear.
Goodyear. Whoa.
yes,
That's it. That's it.
yes.
That is the number one,
Brand.
sports sponsorship association in
Wow.
all the sports.
Who knew that?
So when you compare things like Yankee fans and Cub fans and Dallas Cowboys, that's kind of the experience. And what NASCAR, those fans are more loyal than those people when it comes to those cities. So they're diehard fans.
Yes.
That's where the term diehard fan comes from. I'm
sure.
assuming.
Yes.
I'm assuming that's where the term
Right,
diehard
right.
fans come from. So you've also been part of a lot of other huge venues in different sports, right? And it was more on the Hispanic, Latino side. And NASCAR, one would assume, is more of a United States kind of venue. And you gravitated somehow to this position.
Yes.
But I think a lot of those things help you and gave you the tools.
Right.
Is that a correct
That's
statement?
a very fair statement. That's a very fair statement. Everything that I've done prior to NASCAR, I didn't realize it, but it prepared me for this role. Every skill that I picked up somewhere along the way, I now use in this position. And my background as a TV producer, working big events, working FIFA World Cup, working Olympics, things like that. That really prepared me for this because it is very similar. I produced boxing for a very long time. In fact, I produced boxing here in Homestead for a while at a police athletic.
I didn't know we had boxing here in Homestead.
Yeah, it was a long time
There was
ago.
a gym over there.
I was at the police athletic league.
Okay.
Yeah, and many years ago.
See? That's a gem that we didn't know.
I used to come down here all the time to produce boxing. So, same thing. You're putting on a show.
Yeah.
You're putting something from scratch. You have a lot of moving parts. You have a lot of people to work with. It really takes a lot of teamwork. It's nice for me to come here and visit with you and,
Right.
and sit and to take all the
right.
flowers and all the credit.
That's it.
But it is teamwork. It is a lot of people working together. I set the direction, but it is a lot of people who make it happen.
Cool. So what is it like climbing the ladder internally?
My journey, I don't know anybody else's journey,
Understand.
right? I know my journey. I tell you one thing: I would have never have expected to be in this position. I never thought I would be in motorsports. I never thought I would be in sports to begin with. I started my career at Univision. I was a news producer, a rookie producer. When Hurricane Andrew hit, I was actually, this is hard to believe, but I was the producer in charge of the network coverage of Hurricane Andrew because it happened on a weekend during the summer and everybody was on vacation.
That's right.
So
Or in the Bahamas holding on.
they were, my co-workers were all on vacation. So they went on vacation and left me in charge of the newsroom. And that's really, how I cut my teeth. And I was a very happy news producer. I thought I was going to go on to do a lot of political coverage, which is what I liked. Until one day my boss called me to his office and he said to me, "I need a favor." You're the boss.
Do I need to
You're
sit
the
down?
boss. I'm the low guy in the totem pole. He goes, "I need you to go to sports." I'm like, I don't.
I don't do sports.
I don't
Right,
want to
right.
do sports. I
So-
don't follow sports. I don't play sports. I don't do sports. And his exact words were, "I don't need a jock. I need a producer."
Okay.
And I'm like, all
So
right.
would you say that was a defining moment?
My life turned at that moment. I mean, there's certain instances in my life that I know, when I walked into a room,
Yeah.
I was, my life was heading in one direction, and then when I walked out, I was heading in another
Another
direction.
direction.
When I walked out of that office, my life made a 90-degree turn. And the funny thing was, what he told me at the time was, don't worry about it. You'll do it for a year, and I'll bring you back in a year to news.
So your leadership skills or mindset in that moment, where did that kick in?
That, that comes over time. Part of it, I think, you're born with it. Your parents instill that in you. I've always been fairly driven.
Right.
Even as a kid, I was very competitive. Even though I didn't play sports, that wasn't my area of competition because I wasn't good at any sport. But I was very competitive. To this day, I'm very competitive.
That's right.
And I'm very driven. And I'm, you have to sometimes be very, single, purposed. You set your goal and you go after it. So anyway, that set me on that path in sports, and somehow, I made my way here.
That's it.
A lot of people think that luck happens to people, and it may sometimes appear that way. Oh, this gentleman he's lucky to be the president, but everything that he's done prior to then has set him up
That's right.
to become and to be the person selected to be that president. So we commend you for all of those moments that you've had grinding to be in the position you are today.
I find that the harder I work, the luckier I get.
That's right. Yeah, that's usually what happens.
I like that. And your focus too. I mean, you learn so many different sector of the business.
Yes.
And that's usually a great recipe for success, because you can fit in any category.
Correct.
So as you scale up, no matter where they put you, you were good at it.
Correct. That's a lot of different opportunities. A lot of people who gave me a chance and say kind of like run with it. But I also raise my hand a lot.
That's right.
And that's something that I say to young people all the time. When you're starting out your career, whatever it is, put your hand up. Do the things that nobody else wants to do. Be there when nobody else wants to be there.
Be a good problem solver.
And always bring solutions. never bring
So
problems.
if there's anybody out there that's interested in maybe going down that career path, what should they be studying, or what should they be more involved in to prepare themselves for maybe a position like yours?
I'll tell you what I wish I had done. I mean, I studied communication, I studied production, which helped me a lot because I became a TV producer, which is what I wanted to do. I wish I would have studied more business.
Okay.
I minored in history, which is great because I love history, and I had a real good time studying history, and it helped my GPA. But if I had to do it over again, I would say, for me, a minor in business would have been very useful, because at the end of the day, we all, doesn't matter what you do, if as you gain more responsibility in any business, you're going to be more involved on the business side. You have budgets to work on, you have, marketing things to work on. You have, and believe me, there have been many times that I've been in the room and I'm like, what does that mean?
There's a lot of numbers here, man.
What does that mean? What does that, and, thank God for the internet now that you can,
That's right.
you can Google anything.
Google it, that's it.
But I wish I would have had a little bit more of a business prep. That would have been helpful.
But you've got this innate ability to really understand how to throw a party or how to prepare an event to draw people to come, because my family and I love going to the races because of the experience that we get. And you're at the head of all that, making sure that there is something for everyone to do at the event.
Yes, a lot of moving parts.
And it's a whole weekend. And by the way, for those of you that don't know, we got the championship race back.
We
So I know you had something to do with that too.
We had something to do with that as well. Yeah, I mean, look, to your point is like, I've been very fortunate. I've been to a lot of sporting events all over the world. I've been from the most humble venues to the most luxurious places to watch a game from. So that informs what I do a lot. I've seen the best. I've seen the worst. I try to put myself in the place of our fans who come to visit. People who work really hard, who work hard for their money, who have a bunch of entertainment options to attend to. In South Florida, I always say, at the very most basic level, we're competing with the beach, and that's free.
Yes,
right? And
that
then,
is a
and
good
then, and then take it from there, right? So there are all these distractions. So if a family's coming out and mom and dad have been working hard, all week, all month, or all year. This might be one of many events they go to. This might be the only event that they go to. We want everybody to feel welcome We want everybody to have a positive experience. We have somebody. We want everybody to, if they come in and they're not a fan,
Right.
to leave a
As a
fan.
fan.
Yeah.
And if they are a fan, that
Stay
they
a
want
fan.
that stay a fan and want to come back.
That's right.
So there's a lot of things that we do. We're probably the only venue. We're the only sport, I'm sure, that allows people to bring in their own food,
Yeah.
their own coolers, things like that. We don't, our price points are very, attainable.
Right.
We cast, a wide net. We have a big tent for everybody. We understand that people have options. We understand, how hard it is to take a family
Right.
out for a day of fun, and we want to make sure that everybody who comes to the track has a good time, enjoys it, and wants to come back, and not necessarily come back a year later, but come back, next month for Fasting Friday, our drag racing series, or any other event that we have at the track.
So, question for you. At the track, they at a certain time of the month, they have that a straight lane.
Drag race.
That's where the fun
We have it
is.
this week. We have it Friday.
So is there any intention of making it longer or extending it?
No.
No.
I get that question a lot,
I know.
especially online. That's a hard no. It's an eighth of a mile. It's going to stay an eighth of a mile. First, we don't have space, for more. And second, once you get into those longer tracks, then people really need to know what they're doing.
Yeah.
To handle.
So no
handle
more the
this.
rookie effect.
So yeah, we don't want that. This is something that we do for people so they can come out and get out of their system and help get illegal drag racing off the streets and they can, help alleviate those takeovers and bring people, into an environment where it's safe and legal.
Right.
And that's that.
Right.
This is not hardcore. This is not
Keep it simple.
This is not quarter of a mile stuff. It's an eighth of a mile. Keep it simple.
Cool. So, what do you see? What is your vision for the future of the track going forward? As far as
There's a lot, and only so much that I can really talk about.
breaking news, Willie.
Yeah. So, first and foremost, we have championship coming. Next year.
Right.
We're almost in the year already.
Right.
And make sure that we put on a great show. Make sure that we're prepared. That we work with the local authorities, the local stakeholders, that the roads are ready, that, the access is there. All the way from, the experience starts when you get off the turnpike or whichever, road you're taking, and you approach the venue. That, the party starts early. That we have a seamless way for people to access the track and then get out as well. We're going to do some remodeling and some improvements. We're working on those right now. Nothing that we can announce just yet, but I can, if everything goes according to plan, you're going to see a very different Homestead-Miami Speedway when you pull up to the racetrack next year.
I'm excited about that.
Time is ticking, so we gotta get cracking.
That's it.
But there's some things that we're working on.
We all welcome. From a business owner perspective, we all welcome the amount of traffic that comes to town and the amount of good. I see the cars. They sometimes go to their prospective, sponsors and have one out there. Do you foresee EV being a thing there at the track?
So we had Formula E earlier this year. So we had AV racing. They're not coming back next year. Hopefully we'll have them back at some other point. There's a lot that goes into that. We've seen, we've had a taste of it because there's a lot of experimentation on it. In the world of NASCAR, you have to remember that it is driven, no pun intended, and the puns are endless, by the OEMs, right, the manufacturers, and the products that they're pushing.
Right.
They're consumer product in one way or another. So right now, what we're seeing is some uncertainty about the future of EVs and how the government supports those programs and things like that. So that will have an impact on the future of EV overall. So from a NASCAR perspective, that probably has a little bit of an impact. I don't know if eventually what the big plans are, but it's a category that it's exciting because those cars are really fast.
Right.
They lack the sound and the other things that the fans look for. But man, they are fast.
Yeah. Cool. Have you driven in one or driven in any of the cars?
So I've driven NASCAR racing experience. So when they come to town, I did do that last year, which was a lot of fun. Another common question that I get is, do I ever drive on the track?
Other than they are,
And I'm like,
the pace car.
I drive on the track all the time. Usually what I say to my friends, they'll ask me, you drive on the track? I'm like, what would you do if you had access to a track?
That's it.
Right? I mean, so I drive on it all the time. I had a Corvette that we were utilizing for some promotional stuff a couple of months ago. So I drove that around the track quite a bit. I drive my own car on the track. I like to drive on the track. It's a lot of fun.
Of course.
Can you tell us why the track is one of the favorite of the drivers?
Sure.
Why do they like Homestead's track so much?
So there's two elements to that. One is they like Homestead, right? They like coming here. They like, particularly ending the season here, going to the Keys, relaxing, wrapping things up. The other aspect of it is the track itself.
Yeah.
The variable banking, the surface itself, everything that went into engineering that track just worked out perfectly. It's and it evolved, as you know, because it was flat in the beginning, and then so that variable banking, the surface, the way the surface is worn at different grades, depending where you are. It gives the drivers different lines that they can take. You can go low, you can go to the middle, you can go high, you can ride the wall, which is what we're famous for. The distance is the distance that drivers enjoy racing it, a mile and a half. So all these elements come together, but the racing itself, and one thing that I always like to, sing aloud is at Homestead, the track is the star. There's all these things, right? It's a beautiful location. We're at the edge of the county. We're surrounded by nature with a gateway to the Keys. There's a lot happening there. There's a lot to be proud of. But at the end of the day, the track is a star.
That's it.
We put on good racing.
Cool beans. So tell us, what is fun for you?
Work. Work. I love working. I'm very fortunate. As a kid, I never wanted a job. I never wanted to have a job that felt like homework.
You wanted a job you enjoyed.
So I wanted certain things out of work. I've been very fortunate. I've been able to travel a lot. I've met all sorts of interesting people. Great things have happened to me. To me, work is fun. I have challenges the same as everybody else. There are days that I don't want to come to work. There are days that, I'm not the most productive person in the world. But on average, I'm excited to come to work. I like the people that I work with, both here in Homestead at the track and in NASCAR in general. My colleagues and my bosses and everybody else, they're good people who care about the work that we're doing. I have a track.
Right.
I get to meet lots of people.
That's right.
I get to be out in the community and touch people outside of the office. So,
Cool.
work is, I enjoy work a lot.
For people that live here in Homestead, and we've grown up here our entire lives, it's always been a challenge for us to get to some of the other venues, the Miami Arena, the Dolphins Hard Rock Stadium. It's a long way. And if you go to some of these places and you have a drink or two, it's dangerous to drive back down south, and obviously the Metro Rail doesn't come all the way south. So when Homestead-Miami Speedway came here, it gave us something to do, and that's fulfilled that part of our lives where we've got something to do during the year. But now you've got Inter Miami, you got all this competition, yet
You're still amongst them.
you guys still draw huge crowds because of all of the entertainment that's there. Tell us a little bit about the entertainment that's going to be there for the championship race. And also, when the race is done, will the venue eventually become a place where concerts can be held and we get the Beyoncés and the Shakiras and like that?
So I'll answer that one first. There's other things that we want to do. And we definitely want to be more active and host most events and things like that. Concerts are difficult because we're not set up very well for that. We're at grandstands.
It's a track.
It's a track, right? We don't have the acoustics. Even the acoustics are not are not as needed as they used to be, right? these performers are performing in stadiums anyway, right? Which are not built necessarily for acoustics. But that's a little bit more challenging. Certainly more events when it comes to car culture.
Okay.
Other events that we can host, that are important to the community. All sorts of things are on the table. But concerts, unless it's something small and very, tailored to this community, those are more difficult, to think that somebody is going to, who's on tour is going to come down here for that.
My wife wanted me to ask you if Mark Anthony would ever be.
That I wouldn't rule out. That I wouldn't rule out. In fact, if that's a suggestion, I'll take it. I'll go back with that. He was at Inter-Miami on Saturday giving out the trophy. To answer the first part of your question, is we're working hard on figuring out what that entertainment offering is going to be for championship. What I can tell you is that one thing that we've done so far, and we're going to continue to do, is we want to be a reflection of South Florida.
Right.
And to me, that means the South Florida that I know. Not necessarily South Beach and, the touristy part of South Florida, but more the South Florida that I grew up in the western suburbs, and, a reflection of our likes, our tastes, who we are, being very much multicultural, but very seamless about it. We can, you know how we are. We, we speak Spanglish. It's very typical for us to, and I notice I do this all the time, where, guys such as yourself, the initial hello is in Spanish, and then you switch into English, but you first kind of connect in Spanish, like you have that touch point.
That's right.
So we have to be, bilingual. We have to be multicultural. We have to reflect that in the music that we showcase. We have to reflect that in the food that we serve, because it's who we are, and we have to be authentic to that. Like we can't be something that we're not.
Right.
We are South Florida. South Florida is a certain way, and we just have to follow that. It's real easy. Just
be authentic.
Go with what you got.
Is there a message you can give to the businesses? Because it's a huge economic engine when we've got not only any race, but championship race is going to draw a lot of people.
Right.
The businesses, what kinds of things can the businesses do to help promote and to keep that energy going for the race?
Fantastic question.
Right.
We need to feel the love.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is, you don't have to do much.
Right.
Just join the party. If you're doing a promotion, how can you tie it into motorsports? Will you decorate? Will you put out some checker flags out? Will you do things that tie what you're doing into the party? Think about other big sporting events that come into South Florida. The Super Bowl comes into town, and you're a business owner. You might not have a piece of that, but you're still putting up your NFL paraphernalia. You're still joining the party, right? Because the Super Bowl's coming.
Right.
So same thing. Join the party. I mean, if we can help, if we can support, by all means, we do that, and we have a program called Paint the Town, where we go out to local businesses and we we'll give out posters, or we give out other things, promotional items to help promote the race. But if you don't hear from us, reach out to us, and you can do it on your own. But that is really important, because then the people who come from outside of Homestead feel the love for them.
Right.
Because
like you said, it's right when they get off the turnpike. You want to feel the love. And if you go to a restaurant to eat, you want to still feel that energy, because you're here for race week. Right. And if it's all around, it makes you want to come back.
Right. You go to any college town in the country, you go here, near UM, and the businesses are celebrating UM. They're clustered with UM stuff. And you go to Tallahassee, you will see the same thing. You go to any university town, you'll see the same thing. You will go to other NASCAR markets and see lots of NASCAR stuff everywhere, no matter where you go.
Right.
So I know that, a lot of it is on us. We have to reach out. We have to be there for the community. We have to reciprocate that love. But it's wonderful for when the fans come from, out of town, drivers, team owners, the crews that stay in all the local hotels. As they go around, they feel welcome.
Right.
That goes a long, long way.
Well, you have a partner here with Talk Visual 305. We will make sure that all the businesses, especially here in downtown, all the businesses start to understand how important it is to help push the race. So we're gonna somehow figure out where we can get posters or some sort of templates that maybe we can print out on our own as well.
Right.
But if there's a place, 'cause I think some of the businesses are just, they don't know, and they don't know who to reach out to. So Demetrius and I will help. So we
Perfect.
can continue to promote that.
I'll take it. I'll take it 100%.
Awesome.
Look, we have the skating rink
at
in
Lawson
Park.
Park.
We're sponsoring that, so we want to make sure that
Right.
people feel the love from us.
That's right.
Well,
Cool.
we have one huge favor to ask. We are part of the Homestead Rotary Club, and we host a seafood festival every March. We would like a NASCAR there on display. Is that something that can potentially?
Sure.
I
Yeah.
think we can make that happen.
Yeah.
That way,
That's a small
we,
ass.
we don't. We actually we don't have a car right now. Our old car, we gave it to the police department, and they turned it into a cajachina.
I saw
I don't know if
that.
you saw that.
That was
but-
amazing. And won too. I
Yes,
think, right? That's it.
yes.
was
I say we because we were a part of it.
That's
We
it,
won
man. You're forever.
best presentation. So that's what we did with our old car. We're in the process of getting a new one, but we'll have something.
we get about 20,000 people that come to that.
I was there last year.
And
Whenever
it would
the
be
last
so
year.
nice to have people looking in there because people don't know what it looks
No,
like inside
that's
a
it.
NASCAR.
It's cool.
That
We'll
would
have
be awesome.
we'll make sure we display that prominently.
Okay.
No.
You'll have something that I can promise.
We definitely appreciate.
Well, we're
your
trying to do
time.
it bigger and better this year. So next year, and that's coming up fast. As you
Okay.
can tell.
When is it?
It's March 7th and
Okay.
8th.
Okay.
March
So how do
7th.
people get tickets, and how do people find out what's going on? Is on your website?
Absolutely. Homestead-Miami.com. Homestead-Miami-Speedway.com has all the details, all the tickets, all the information. Our calendar of events is there. Everything else. Championship weekend is November 6th, 7th, and 8th of 2026. Tickets are going fast.
Yes.
That's right.
Get your tickets now, guys. Tickets are
They are
going
going fast. I'm not going to tell you that we're sold out because we're not, but they are moving really fast. We're way ahead of schedule when it comes to ticket sales.
Wow.
And we just want to, showcase South Dade, Homestead, and there's no better way to showcase Homestead than by having a full grandstand.
Well said.
Having that reaction from the community, from South Florida, from the fans, like you were saying in the beginning, this is the finest, we believe, mile-and-a-half track anywhere in the world.
Well said.
You're going to have the best drivers in the world. You have the most exciting type of racing. It is championship. It's all coming to your doorstep. That's pretty
amazing.
special.
That is amazing.
Well-
so guys, thank you, Mr. President, for everything that you have done, what you're doing for the city of Homestead, and what you're doing for NASCAR. We have a bright future ahead with you spearheading this effort. We appreciate your time today. And for those of you out there looking, please make sure you get your tickets now. Don't forget to be at the race in person because it's not the same when you're watching this on TV. So thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We appreciate all of you. Have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.